No? Perfect. Good evening and welcome to the Planning and Zoning meeting for the City of Smyrna. See if I can turn my phone off before I start telling everybody to turn theirs off. Today is Monday, July 12th, 2021 at 6 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. At this time, we'd like to ask that all your electronic devices be turned off as they interfere with our recording equipment. For those of you joining us for the first time, this meeting is conducted much like a council meeting. As such, the application will include presentation from city staff, followed by a question and answer session between staff and the board. Following staff's presentation, we'll have the applicant present their case and answer any questions. Once all the questions have been satisfied, we'll have an opportunity for anyone in attendance that would like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to the application. We ask that you come forward one at a time, state your name and address clearly for the record, sign the sign-in sheet at the podium, and please direct all your comments to the board. We got a couple of items that we need to table, and then we'll get right to the actionable item. The first item on our agenda is 2021-132. The zoning request is E21004. This item is to be tabled to the August 9th, 2021 meeting. Can I get a motion to table this item, please? A motion, Mr. Smith. A second? Mr. Seagraves, please vote. Who are we waiting on? Oh, okay. Okay. The item is tabled. The next item on our agenda is 2021006. This item is to be tabled to the August 9th, 2021 Planning and Zoning meeting as well. Can I get a motion to table this item, please? Motion, Mr. Phillips. Second, Mr. Seagraves. Please vote. The item is tabled 5-0. All right. The next item on our agenda is 2021-278. This is zoning request Z21-009 to allow rezoning family detached homes at a density of 5.1 units per acre. It's land lot 486, 1084 Medland Street. The applicant is Kimberly Norwood Properties. Mr. Stobbs, the background, please.
Good evening, Joey Stobbs, Planner 2. This is rezoning case Z21-009. Applicant is Kimberly Norwood Properties. Your recommendation tonight will go to Mayor and Council on August 16th. The subject property is 1084 Medland Street. It's about 0.38 acres. There's currently one single-family home on the property, and the proposal is to subdivide it into two detached single-family residences. Existing zoning is R15 and the proposed zoning is RDA. Future land use of the property is medium density residential. It'll stay medium density residential. To the north is high density residential, and then surrounding the property is medium density residential. This is a proposed site plan. This is the existing lot, and this is the proposed new lot line to make it two lots. The RDA setbacks are front 25, side street setback 13, side setback of 5, and the rear setback of 25. They'll have front entry garages facing Medland Street. The initial stormwater proposal is in the front yard. Those will have to be moved to meet the Blue Book standards for Georgia Stormwater Management Manual. We feel confident they can still meet the requirements some elsewhere on the lot. There's proposed sidewalk along the property, and we're asking for a 5-foot right-of-way dedication along Hollis Street to make it eventually a 50-foot right-of-way. There's one variance for lot size reduction from 7,260 to 7,201 square feet. And staff supports. It'll be consistent with other lots in the neighborhood. These are the proposed home elevations and pictures of the subject property as it exists today and adjacent properties. So staff is supportive of the request and recommends approval of the rezoning from R15 to RDA conditional for development of 2 single-family units at a density of 5.18 units per acre with the following conditions. Standard conditions: 1, regarding the architecture; 2, requiring underground utilities; 3, that they're responsible for any traffic improvements; 4, no debris can be buried; 5 and 6, they'll have to meet the tree ordinance; and 7, the tree planting schedule. Special conditions are 8, regarding the RDA setbacks, as previously mentioned; 9, regarding the minimum lot size and minimum lot width; minimum driveway length of 22 feet; and 13, regarding the sidewalk. 14 is maximum height of 35 feet; 15, regarding fire access requirements; 16, water and sewer improvements; 17, they'll have to meet stormwater management requirements; 18 and 19, tying them to the proposed site plan and elevations submitted with the application. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Staubs? Thank you, sir. At this time, we'd like to ask the applicant to come forward and tell us a little bit about. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Sean J. Murphy, 3282 Lee Street, Southeast, Smyrna, Georgia, for S.J. Murphy & Associates, representing our client as a consultant site planner. Good evening, and thank you for having us. Most of you have probably seen us before for other projects in this neighborhood in particular. We're back in front of you tonight requesting a similar split. In fact, this split is almost identical to 2 splits we did in the same neighborhood in the last 4 or 5 years on McClendon and Dell Streets, I believe. The only difference really being about 10 feet in lot width here from those other 2 lots where we split these previously. In this case, we had wanted to do a side entry like we did at a previous split, but it couldn't really be accommodated because of the 22-foot need to provide parking off the street on the driveway. So in this case, both of the driveways were put on the front of the property. And then also because we need to try to get away from the corner of the intersection, we've oriented the houses kind of both in the same orientation, and so that the driveways are together the way they are instead of flipped, so they're right next to each other. You saw the elevations. I don't really have anything additional to present to you other than what you've already seen. It's pretty cut and dry. It's what we've done probably 5 or 6 times in this neighborhood. And we're here to answer any questions you have. And if there's anything that they can answer, they're here as well.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Mr. Phillips.
Stays on. Okay. One question I had, did you consider moving the corner house back slightly so you could, in fact, make both lots closer to or meet the minimum square footage on the second lot? If that slid back 1 or 2 feet because of the pie shape, could you not then slide the common lot line over a foot or so to pick up the square footage you're missing?
That's certainly plausible, but these lots actually have an extensive amount of trees, and we're trying to reduce the impact on the trees in the backyards, and anything that slides back gets into the tree critical root zone. and the structural root plates. So even if you slide it, like a couple of the trees are right at the threshold, so by sliding them back, it pushes us over the mat that would require us to remove additional trees. So in keeping with your ordinance, we really were trying to save as many trees as possible. That's also, Joey alluded to the fact that we show the detention underneath the driveway, which we've done previously. Did that is because there are trees in the front yards that we were trying to save on the corner lot. And in order to move those out from underneath the driveway, we will have to take down trees, which usually the city would like to see us save. So the answer is yes, we could, and not necessarily opposed to doing that, but it will impact trees. You will lose an additional tree or two in the backyard.
Just looking at the way that the back walls don't line up, the front walls do, and it just looked like it'd be an easy fix to pick up an extra 60 feet to make you not need the variance.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, other than, right behind that lot 5A, there are several large trees that are just outside of the impact zone from the structure. So we can do that, but it would mean the loss of 2 or 3 additional trees. And they're fairly good-sized trees there.
Probably be a little, if we saw them on the plan, it might be a little clearer as to why they're keeping it where they're keeping it. Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
Should be approved. What's the timeline for construction? When are you going to begin?
I'm John Norwood with Kimberly Norwood Properties, 8 Nima address. We're probably looking at somewhere within the next, starting construction probably within the next 2 to 3 months, and probably completion within 9 to 10 months.
Thank you.
And what kind of price point are we talking?
We're going to be looking at a price point somewhere between $575,000 and $600,000 for one, and the other one a little bit less because it's a little bit smaller square footage.
What is the square footage on the homes?
I think is right around 2,200.
Gotcha.
And these are ballpark numbers.
Yeah, no.
Based on what's going on in the market.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Any other?
Both slabs.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Thank you both. This is a public hearing. At this time, we'd like to ask if there's anyone in attendance that would like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to this application. Let the record show there's no one in attendance that would like to speak in favor of or opposition to this application. All right. Any other comments or discussion? Okay. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion. I have a motion to approve, Mr. Smith. In favor, please vote. All right, the motion is approved 5-0. This will be heard before mayor and council. August 16th or thereabouts. Good luck with mayor and council, and good luck with your project. Thank you. All right. The last item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the June 14th, 2021 Planning and Zoning meeting. Do we have any changes we need to make to the minutes, or can we approve them as presented? We have a motion to approve Mr. Rice. We have a second, Mr. Seagraves, the hardest working member tonight. Please vote on the minutes. I got that one by. All right. The minutes are approved 5-0. Nope. All right. With that, we'll call this meeting at 6:14 p.m. Ms. Tina. Here you go with the minutes.